Welcome back to Kelleigh Plays Opera Omnia. Today I shall be going over my evaluation of Fang after having some time with her in co-op. Start looking for some people. The first thing I want to note is her crystal color. It's yellow. I find this to be a slightly for points against, as I feel yellow is a hard color to shine in terms of awakening priority, with the likes of Laylee and Selphie being extremely useful. Fang is a character who boasts very high base HP and attack stats, with pretty good max bravery. However, her initial bravery is about middle ground, and her defense is lackluster. Her speed tier is B, which is right in the middle, but she will feel slower due to none of her skills being high turn rate, and only a handful of speed increasing passives. Fang and her party can make use of a speed debuff she can apply, which I'll cover shortly. Now let's go over her skills. Her first initial skill is Umbral Vice, and it is a one-hit brave attack that hits much harder if the target is debuffed, which itself applies max bravery down, small defense down, and small speed down for 3 turns. Umbral Vice also gives her Saboteur F stance, which increases her maximum bravery. Equipping her 15 CP weapon or passive raises the potency by 30%, bringing it to 150. Boosts the debuff strengths from 10 to 15% and extends them to 5 turns. And Saboteur Stance now increases the maximum bravery boost to 40% and extends its duration to 6 turns. On paper, my bad. Equipping her 55 crystal passive will bring Umbral Vice's max potency up to 180% and increase her max bravery boost to 60%. If after using the skill, her bravery is above 80% of max, it will trigger a follow-up HP attack. Basic bravery attack becomes bravery plus while in Saboteur stance, which makes it stronger with low action delay. On paper, this skill seems rather impressive. The damage is nice, and the buffs will help pile on the damage more, and Fang's 50 passive further strengthens her if any enemy is debuffed. However, it's severely held back by its only hitting once, making the damage cap 9,999, which won't be enough to trigger the follow-up HP attack unless previously at about half brave, which her second skill doesn't quite synergize with. Speaking of which, let's talk about it. Whirlwind is a 2-hit brave to HP attack that initiates a chase if the target breaks or is already broken. It also grants Fang the Commando F stance, which raises her attack power and maximum brave for 3 turns. Entering one stance will cancel out the effects of the other. Equipping her 35 CP weapon, or passive, raises the potency of Whirlwind by 20%, bringing it to a total of 100 after both hits. Boosts potency even further versus broken targets, bringing it to 120%. Increases Commando F stance buff from 10% to 20% attack and 20% to 40% maximum bravery, and extends its duration to 6 turns. It also grants an additional physical attack up buff of 20% for 10 turns. I absolutely recommend this weapon equipped for the increased CP pool, the large amount of attack buffs it provides, and making her overall more useful skill hit harder. Equipping her 60 crystal passive doesn't increase the potency, but now makes the brave attacks AoE. But the HP attack and the chase are only applied to your actual target. Commando F stance's strength increases to 30% attack and 60% maximum bravery. While under Commando F stance, Brave Attack becomes Brave Attack plus Commando, which also makes it AoE. Both instances of AoE attacks are full powered against single targets. Whirlwind is her bread and butter, putting her in the category of launcher, up there with the likes of Laylee and Cecil. However, I feel Laylee still far outclasses Fang due to the nature of him also being a bravery battery, which Fang would love to have in any team. I'd say she's on par with Cecil, if only for the fact of being harder to snipe from a boss due to the Cecil sacrificing his own HP and limited to being dark, can find lackluster results on bosses with this resistance. Cecil does, however, have an EX weapon giving him more CP and access to a third powerful move. Also, just barely missing the break when using Whirlwind leads to some awkward moments in co-op. If I had to take a guess as to her artifact passive tier list, I'd say you probably want 108 attack, followed by Grand Pulse Warrior up, followed by Whirlwind power up. Because you need to make sure you break things. Fang is a nice character, but far from amazing. I recommend pulling if you lack a dedicated launcher already. She is one of your waifus. You rebel against top tier and rather not use Laylee, or just in general love Final Fantasy XIII. Reasons to not pull would be already having a maxed out Laylee or Cecil, disliking Final Fantasy XIII, and the other characters on her banner are far outclassed. Than she is, even though one of them grants an EX. Her placeholder ranking is 81 out of 100, which I feel is just slightly low to me, but I don't expect it to go any higher if it even does. Stay tuned next time, where I just might cover Kane's New Awakening, with the introduction of his lost chapter, Deuce, the next event character, and possibly Seven from the next story chapter. This has been Kelleigh, and remember, this event boss resists wind! Stop bringing Sylph and bring Chocobos.